Hello, welcome back to Grammar Express. In this video, you'll learn more about comparisons. On page 239, we'll learn that when making a comparative, we use than. So here, than is used as a conjunction to connect two clauses. For example, she's taller than her husband is. This also applies when we change my brother into a subject pronoun, he. So it becomes she's taller than he is. Besides, in everyday, informal spoken English, an object pronoun often follows than. For example, she's taller than him. We sometimes use the helper verb do, does, did to replace a verb when the meaning is clear or obvious. For example, she studies more than he does. She got a better exam grade than he did. Generally, we will use possessive pronouns to talk about a person, a place, or a thing that has already been mentioned, that has already been explained. For example, his hair is curlier than hers. Her hair is longer than his. You can see that we use hers to mean her hair, and his to mean his hair. But when do we use possessive pronouns? Yes, when we want to avoid repeating the same nouns, we use possessive pronouns. For example, that pen is my pen, not yours. Here we use yours to mean your pen. Now let's try. Mr. Polos can carry heavy boxes. I can't. He is much stronger than... In formal English, we use a subject plus the verb. So here the answer is than I am. Good job. Next one. Here we use me. He is much stronger than me. We use object pronouns in everyday spoken informal English. His arms are stronger than... Yes, we use possessive pronoun here. My means my arms. Now let's do our homework. Next, we'll talk about comparative and superlative modifiers. What is a modifier? Let's have a quick review of what we've learned before. For example, my car is very old. They walked very slowly on icy sidewalks. In sentence A, very old, the adverb modifies the adjective old. In sentence B, very slowly, the adverb very modifies the adverb slowly. However, very is not used to modify comparative adjectives and adverbs. Instead, a lot, much, or far are used to modify comparative adjectives and adverbs. We use modifiers to add more information, so everybody knows how big the difference is when you're comparing two things. When you want to show the difference between these two people is big, you can put a lot, much, or far in front of comparative adjectives and adverbs. For example, Arina is a lot smarter than I am. Arina is much smarter than I am. Arina is far smarter than I am. Dan reads a lot faster than he used to. Dan reads much faster than he used to. Dan reads far faster than he used to. We can also put a bit, a little, or slightly. These all mean the amount is very small. For example, Ben is a bit older than I am. Ben is a little older than I am. Ben is slightly older than I am. Now let's practice. Trees are much more colorful in the spring than in the winter. The weather is a lot warmer in the spring than in the winter. The weather can be very warm in the spring. Have you ever heard someone said, a pen is less expensive than a book? I bet you have. Were you wondering that is sentence A different from sentence B? A pen is not as expensive as a book. Actually, the meanings are the same. But here you need to pay attention. These two formulas are used with adjectives or adverbs of more than one syllable, which means longer adjectives or adverbs. But if you have adjectives or adverbs with one syllable, it's a shorter word, then you must use not as. For example, a pen is not as large as a book. Large is a shorter adjective, so here we use not as. Now let's practice. A lion cub is not as old as a mama lion. Here the adjective is one syllable, old, so we use not as. Next. A lion cub is not as strong as a mama lion. Now let's move on to our homework.
Exercise 23. Page 242. Example: France, Brazil. You will hear A. France isn't as large as Brazil. You will choose T. True. You will hear B. France is bigger than Brazil. You will choose F. False. 1. A sidewalk, a road.
A. A sidewalk is as wide as a road. B. A road is wider than a sidewalk.
2. A hill, a mountain.
A. A hill isn't as high as a mountain. B. A hill is higher than a mountain.
3. A mountain path, a mountain peak.
A. In general, hiking along a mountain path is more dangerous than climbing a mountain peak. B. In general, hiking along a mountain path is less dangerous than climbing a mountain peak.
4. Toes, fingers.
A. Toes are longer than fingers. B. Fingers aren't as long as toes. C. Toes are shorter than fingers.
5. Basic math, algebra.
A. Basic math isn't as hard as algebra. B. Algebra is harder than basic math. C. Basic math is as confusing as algebra. D. Basic math is less confusing than algebra.